What's up, Dallas? How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How's it going with you guys?
Good, man.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Excited to have you on the show.
Yeah, excited to be on.
So yeah, man, lots of big news. Awesome news with the tour being announced. Pretty exciting stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's a big step for me. I'm excited. Something I thought I'd never be able to do. So it's really cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm personally super stoked. I wasn't sure it was something that was going to happen again. I mean, have you had to do anything special to prepare for this? Like, I know physically, I'm sure it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot, but it's a lot of it's kind of flying at the seat of my pants still. I mean, I've been doing working with my neurologist and with a therapy group, on just working of how to handle. It's a big step with a severe brain injury. It's been awesome. I've been working a lot, and then I'm getting some back procedures and stuff. So it's getting put together so I can do it. But I'm excited.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm stoked. I was lucky enough to see you guys at the first show back when you played Tampa at the Orpheum.
Oh, awesome! Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was just that was incredible. The energy in that room, just it felt like everybody was on the exact same wavelength. Everyone's singing. Do you remember much about that night?
It's weird as with my brain injury, my short-term memory since my accident, I don't remember a lot, but I remember after we played, hanging out with some people, and I remember if I see videos, I'm like, oh, okay, that night was awesome, and it was one of these things where I just was I don't know if I remember how is this gonna happen, and before you know, I was like, oh, night's over, and it really went really well. I think, I get stumped on words. We're all the years of playing, it's a basic word, my brain injury. But it's just it just came to it kind of took over.
Muscle memory, right?
Muscle memory. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll be playing charades or something, or this word. Yes, it just takes over. And that was awesome because I didn't know what to expect for being the first time. It was still, and we've done some more shows since then. So yeah, it's a lot coming back, but it's it's the biggest blessing. And that night in Tampa, I think it feels from what I went through, with my injury or whatever, I see life differently and the world differently and in the best way. And I don't know, it feels a lot. It's just connecting where people are almost in it together, rooting for each other almost, it feels.
Hell yeah.
It's a cool feeling.
That was absolutely the vibe there for sure. And, kudos to you and the rest of the guys, because I mean, having seen you guys before the accident and seeing you after, I mean, it really didn't feel like you missed a beat. So maybe we don't remember it, but you killed it. So that's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. I got hard critical myself. So I used to be pretty crazy. I mean, I would do anything. I was that lanky, just jumping off whatever. And I was I want to push myself, but I'm smarter now. I've ran into too many walls and things leading up to this where I'm I can't do how I was. And but yeah, it's really, it's just it's awesome getting to do music, but the shows, they're special to me because I relate. I feel like I relate to people, and getting to talk to people or anything. I don't know. It's very different. I can't explain a brain injury and how you are afterwards. But yeah, you're almost childlike. But I mean, I'm still deal with it. But that side of me has surfaced back a lot more since my accident.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
no,
like
I mean, sounds cool.
Yeah.
yeah, like this
Sounds like you're
stuff
enjoying life more than we are.
I mean, it's still hard. I mean, I still, every day I'm in pain and
Yeah.
and my the memory and like guessing words or whatever. But I've learned, yeah, when you have an injury like that, you don't really stress over that. Even though everything's like stressful with making decisions, you realize like when you got a catheter and someone's feeding you meat pudding through a straw and your mouth's wired shut and you can't see, you start taking the little things in life and they become the big things, and the things that I thought were big don't really matter now.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So is this new way of thinking you got affected your songwriting?
For sure. I went from, I guess, right through, what I guess I experience and the stuff I go through. It's a lot more personal and like a lot of dark points, but there's a positive side. But yeah, it's like kind of like the hell I've been through and I think in my mind, the reason I feel like I survived my accident was to kind of let people know, like, hey, you're not in this alone, and
Right.
you don't have to have a four-wheeler landing on your head to realize how hard we make life sometimes, or just how life can get. And yeah, just mainly letting people know they're not alone, and like, hey, I've been through it. Like, we're in this together, kind of thing.
Right. I get you. And since the accident, has it altered what you can do vocally? Because I guess you messed your jaw up pretty bad, right?
Yeah, I broke both my jaws, and I had a trach, and yeah, my voice is a bit, I guess, lower. I mean, for a while
cool.
there, because I can't feel on this side of my face.
Okay.
So they wired my jaw for like 3 months when it should only be 6 to 8 weeks because I had palsy on that side.
Mm-hmm,
so they would take the wires off and this would just drop open. So they put it back up, or I had rubber bands. And so I had to use like these, my speech therapist was the one that was like, you got palsy. They just thought my jaw wasn't healing right. So I had to train like squeezing down. Wow. And yeah, I think I could hold my breath for like 10 seconds was the longest I could push out. And I had to have a lung operation. So yeah, it's changed. I don't hear it much, but now, but yeah, my S's and like, I couldn't even speak words. It was weird. Like I would talk like, hey, like I'm not going to try to recreate it.
Right.
It'll be a comedy session, but yes, it has changed. Yeah, maybe it's a little lower, or I don't know. Maybe I'm more, I don't know, aggressive. It's weird because I thought it would be less. And
so it changed for a positive, lower and a little more aggressive. That's cool.
Yeah. It's
almost like you got a natural distortion effect on you. That's all right.
Kinda, yeah. But it's weird is I do not know. Maybe this is also before my accident. Every time I call, like, say, the hospital to schedule an appointment, they're always like, yes, ma'am, always. And I'm like, do I sound like an old lady that's been smoking? Like, I never get it. I asked my vocal coach. She's like, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm always like, yes, ma'am, thank you for calling. I'm like, I don't get on correcting them. I just let them think, whatever, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the name too, because the name could be male or female, but so it doesn't help.
Yeah. So maybe that's it.
Yeah. So obviously we've got to ask. I mean, usually with a tour announcement, there's a new music announcement somewhere to follow. Do we have anything we can be looking forward to from you guys?
Yeah, there might be, but we're always working on stuff. So, we're in the middle of, working on, some stuff. And so, yeah, there might be, we played we played a, fest, and I haven't talked about this. I guess it's the first time, not even online. I took didn't post online for 8 months. So I guess this is the first time, after we played Incarceration, I got home and I started having this horrible pain. And I had a back operation when they burned the nerves off, ablation to try to, on my, the nerves that are bad. And so they were doing an MRI to see what was wrong. And this was right at the beginning of August. And they found a complex cyst on my kidneys. And so they didn't know if it was cancer or what. And I still have to go to get it checked, but I think it burst finally. But I was out of it. I didn't post online. I didn't do anything. We didn't know if we were even going to be doing stuff for a while. Cause, I was not in good shape. And then around, I guess, October or whatever, I had it got the worst, and I think that's when it burst or whatever. And I was just life's too short, we are very forgetful as humans. We'll have these wake up calls where I want to go, I've been sick recently, and I scratched my cornea for the only I can see. So you guys are blurry right now, but
that's probably for your benefit.
Yeah.
Give wake up calls where we're oh, I see what matters now. I'm going to tour. I'll do whatever, I was spent the last 8 months in and out of just severe pain and barely getting by. So I'm ready to take it head on. And, but yeah, it's something going around Florida or something where I don't know if it's allergies, but yeah, I got sick. And then I think in my sleep, I scratched my cornea.
Man.
And yeah, so I was going to a doctor's appointment. It was kind of blurry, and I went to rub it because I drive everyone, not a ton, and I scratched it more. So I'm driving and the vision just goes blurry, and I'm thinking this eye's going out my only eye. But, they're able to fit me in emergency, and, I'm on antibiotics, not drops, and it's clearing up. But yeah, so I forget the question. I get long talking, but yeah, I guess that answers. Yeah.
So I know you guys were, before the accident, you were working on new music. Is any of that stuff, or is that going to see the light of day, or is it more that the direction kind of changed after everything happened?
I think the direction changed, and we kind of I guess everybody picks themselves apart. And so after the accident, we kind of just brushed that off. I mean, we might surface it back up. But the one song we released, oh, that's what you're asking. Yeah. So that's what took forever to write music. But the one song that we did release at first was kind of taken from an idea, kind of roughly from an old one. But some of that stuff, who knows? But it's after the accident, we all have a different vision, I guess, or way we want to tackle. And I think being on our old label, and no offense to them, but I kind of just stopped doing what creative. I just did what I was kind of told out of, I think, fear. Fear is a good word. I was living in fear before my accident. I want to provide or do whatever. And, And so after my accident, I think all of us were just we're going to do whatever we want, and
Hell yeah.
screw anyone that doesn't like it can screw off.
I'm kind of glad you mentioned that, because I actually was hoping to talk to you about Maylene 4 a little bit. I know you've been kind of critical on that album, and understandably. I mean, I know it's kind of a hard left for the band. I mean, even for me as a fan, but are there any songs on that album that you are particularly proud of? Because it has a couple of my favorite songs, man. I mean, Cats Walk and Drought of 85.
Dude, that is hilarious. So that album was kind of like, you want to get pushed right and all this. It was like, basically either you kind of go in a direction or we're just not going to do anything. And so we kind of they're like, well, okay, we'll go for it. Let's do it, but Cats Walk is the one song that, then there was another one, I think in Dead We Dream, that was us just like fighting back, and we just did whatever we thought. And and that album, I'm proud of, I guess, lyrically, because I was getting kind of, I guess, here in other ways. And so I kind of wrote out my frustrations in the lyrics. And I love, I am proud of Cats Walk and Drought of 85. I think that record was probably maybe one of the darkest times for all of us. We just got in this, like, I don't know, living like in this apartment for months, and we didn't hang out with anyone when we were in Nashville. We just got in this weird, I guess, dark space. So yeah, Drought of 85 definitely was that, and a lot of the album lyrically and parts of it were, pretty hard time in my life.
Yeah, and I can definitely, I can hear that in the lyrics. But I think you're right. Like some of the, musically, it doesn't necessarily always match up the intensity to the lyrics. It's a bit of a different album.
Yeah, and even vocally, like I would want to push harder than like they're like, oh, and so it was like, all right, I'll do that. And then at the end, it was like, this wasn't, it could have been a good record if we would have just, not cared or what. People that don't know anything about music, and you bands say this over and over again, so it's not a new thing. It's like where people that are the bigger powers that be start helping making decisions, and they have no idea. And but the fans and people that listen to music, they hear it, and this happens to bands I know where they take this weird turn and they're like, I shouldn't have did that. And I think everybody in life, sometimes we take weird turns in life, like, I should have just stuck to my gut and told whatever to, screw off, and did what I felt. So that record, a lot was not sticking to my gut. It was thinking with my brain.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm sure like a lot of people put in that situation would have done the same thing. But it's interesting that they kind of pushed you that way, because you guys struck a really nice balance, I think, on 3, where, you had some of the big hooks and stuff, but it still had all the signature Maylene, attitude.
Yeah.
So.
And we had gone to a new producer on 4. We had always worked with one producer on 3 records, and that one we were just like, they're like, branch out. So we're like, all right. And it was a lot of things that made that record very important.
Will we see some more banjo come back in any of the newer music?
Yes, actually been met some of the more, like on the song "Burn the Witches." We put it in there, and then we're messing with that, and a lot more like slide and like latch steel, and so yeah, we're embracing that side a lot more. I think, I don't know, we're leaning a lot, some to the heavy, but I think not a great, but like, I'm survived a major accident. I got some shit to say, and
no shit. So you guys said you got your own label now, and you can do kind of what you want. how are you approaching the songwriting now? Are you looking at the song like what you can say lyrically or what you can do vocally? You know, you got a little bit more freedom now. What's your main angle?
It's kind of we're taking everything, and that is the one problem I would say is not having a label giving you a and now we're giving ourselves deadlines, but also I had the cyst and that knocked us out for a good 8 months, but and other back problems and things, but you know, when you have a label, it's like you got a deadline here and this, and so we're giving ourselves deadlines, but kind of just doing whatever comes out and approaching it's freeing to you just gotta buckle down and push yourself more, but I'd rather do that than have somebody going, you have to do this and it's got to get out, and then you're like, oh, there's 7 songs I did that I'm proud of, and these other 3 were some filler or 4, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Which happens all too often with a lot of our favorite bands.
Mm-hmm.
And we overthink it a little bit too. I think everybody's the worst critic, so I think we gotta quit overthinking things a little bit. But I think that makes great things where instead of just pushing out a bunch, we're kind of what would have been 3 songs or cramming down, and we're like, okay, well, we're proud of this one. All right, we're proud of it. Okay, here's like 2 or 3 we gotta work. So yeah, we're in the works on
I mean, if Burn the Witches is any indication, like you know, I'm excited to hear what you guys got next. So
yeah, I'm really excited to share with, you know, everyone the, you know, stuff we've been working on. But again, I don't know if we are. It's kind of one of those things. So we might be working on stuff.
I hear you. That's okay. It'll be all that more exciting when it happens. So
man, at least you're out there touring and stuff and making.
And sorry. I didn't know.
I'm just saying you're out there touring, making sure everybody knows you're still out there and stuff, and get them all excited and hungry for the new album before it drops. That's a good idea.
Yeah, and it's where like I never want to like lead on. Cause I see a lot of people doing that with different things in life. Like, I'm gonna be doing this, and then you're like, thought you were gonna be doing that, and like, oh, this came up. But yeah, I think there's just a lot of excitement and happiness. But you know, being able to do this again, and me having the you know, from August having a pretty big scare, just being, you know, kind of, you know, out of it, not knowing, you know, and so doing this, it's exciting for us, you know, where we're like, it's kind of like that, and I feel like I can't predict the future, but I feel like the excitement will carry over to fans and people, because they'll, I guess, see the genuine in that. And I think that's something that's lacking in the world today, is a lot of people just being genuine, or yeah, I don't know, and maybe it's not, but you know, online it seems like a lot of people are trying to fit things that they think are going to make them happy, or that are going to make them farther in whatever they're doing, life or a job. And we're just kind of like, you only live life once, you know. We'll do this, something I thought I would never be able to do, and something that doctors or everyone, you know, even my neurologists, they're all even excited. They're like, this is awesome, you know, like, and that's where I've been doing a lot of therapy, but they're like, you know, really proud. It feels like that's what's weird, is it feels like a team effort in my healing.
Oh, yeah.
With a lot of people were like, this is awesome. Like when I was doing in this therapy group, it was a bunch of people, and they're like, I'm like, you guys encourage me. It's helped me so much. And they're like, you're encouraging us. Like, we've had concussions, you know, like, you had a severe brain injury, and so it's, and I feel that's like what I want to do with anything I do is just, yeah, as cheesy as it sounds, love on people and encourage them and kind of get that back. So yeah, it might sound cheesy or like, oh, whatever.
Nah,
but
man, we need more of that.
It is real, yeah.
Positive.
And yeah, like people that are real people, that aren't bullshitters, like they speak their heart, and it's in a positive way. It's not in a you still express aggression or things that hurt you, but always still leaning more towards here's how we make it through this together, this crazy thing we call life. And
awesome. Yeah. And I mean, I'd rather, I understand the approach, and I'd rather you not sit here and promise us that Maylene 5 is coming and then we never get it,
Right.
I'd rather be surprised one day when the announcement comes, and, that's a much better feeling.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
So kind of a random question, but I only recently found Riot Head.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering if you guys have ever talked about maybe revisiting that.
I haven't. We kind of hinted, but it was like I grew up liking when I was younger a band called Shockwave or X Disciple X, and I like that Erie, Pennsylvania hardcore. And I was at a show, and a couple of the guys were there, and I was like, man, when I was younger, going to shows at the Refuge or which was in St. Pete, and I was like, I used to love watching you guys when I was young. And they're like, we like you guys, so I'm like, let's do a project, and then we did it, and then we never pushed it. But I love that. I love getting to do that style, and maybe we'll introduce, mess with it again. There's a lot of ideas and things I've been talking about with people. It's just, you getting that together. It feels like life happens so fast sometimes too, where you're like, I want to do this, and oh crap, this is going, or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. So also wanted to ask if you, is there any update on the Virginia Bitches?
Oh, so that is, I guess, this is my first time, I guess, talking about that, but, yeah, not to get so far in depth, but, yeah, I'm no longer, working with, that team. I don't know how to say it. I hope the best for them. And, yeah, a few of us are, I guess parted ways with, them, but I hope the best for the movie, and, however they get on board and working with it. But, yeah, I guess it was an organic, or however you say,
separation.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all right, man. It frees you up for Maylene. So
Yeah.
I knew about other stuff, coming. It was, sometimes we go through things in life, and this was like my choice, and I hope the best for them, but it was, it just was, I guess a lot of it changed and what, things, and I was like, but I hope it comes out great and it's in the direction they want, and the best for them. I guess sometimes I have different ideas for projects, and everyone's kind of got to be on the same. And I guess I'm at a point in my life where I'm over like binging, like, okay, I'll keep going this way, and then I don't want to, where I'm just like, it's all right. No. But the best of luck. And going back to Maylene and anyone I work with, I'm so thankful and glad to have some of my best friends and people that like I look up to where I'm like, I'm so, because we all see the same thing. So, yeah, I have a few other, with the film side, people like that, always talking to them, working with. So, yeah, Shiny will, one day we'll see maybe what happens, with that. Yeah. Sorry, I'll tell these sentences or I'll answer a question, then I go, yeah. And like it leaves us an awkward pause. That's,
oh, no,
that's fine.
You're good, man.
Yeah, we're good.
hilarious.
You're making our job easy,
And I'll answer a question and I will, forget what the question was. And I'm like, cause I go down these rabbit holes cause my short-term memory, and I'll end up talking about like, oh yeah. And I was washing clothes, I'm not just being stupid, but, and the question was about, I don't know, the weather. So yeah, it's fun being around me. Losing the memory quick and then just going, it's always an exciting, I guess. At least for me.
Man, at least you can play the brain injury card. I mean, the rest of us just got to chalk it up to old age,
There is that.
And I might be playing, yeah, I can play that more because maybe it is my age and, yeah, living out in the country again. Maybe that's where I get, a little off.
Man, so what are you listening to these days? You got any band recommendations for us?
That's a crazy question because with the like I'll go through these like times where I'm like really excited and then sometimes I just forget to listen to new music. But they're not. I love a group called Future Islands. I love that band, and I know they have a new record. I haven't checked it out. I get like where I haven't heard. I'll get these like where I go through and I'll hear new music and all this, but I'm in that stage where it's just the stuff that I've been listening to, but that I'm still excited about. So
that never goes away. You got to have your comfort bands, man.
For sure.
The CDs that you grew up with.
Mhm.
I like a lot of visual stuff too. So there's an artist called Lauren. Yeah, it's more like, electronic or whatever, but like them a lot, or however many people are in the band, or if it's one. And I think a band called A Parrot, or again, like cinematic to me. APPART, I think. But yeah, I listen to a lot of lately, like stuff that's very visual to me. It helps me, like I get inspired just about anything in life. But I and probably if someone else listens to it, they're like, I don't see the visuals at all. I don't even know what the heck this is, But I think, I don't know if I'm different and my brain works differently, but yeah, I always tend to lean towards music, and I can almost like see actually a story or something visual when I hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that comes across, as an influence in your music as well. I think that, I mean, aside from the fact that there is an obvious story, throughout a lot of it, even musically, it's kind of taking you on that adventure. So I think that translates into your art.
Yeah. Whatever, what I'm doing out, I guess. But, yeah, as far as heavy music, gosh, I just always stick to, I love Meshuggah, Lamb of God. I haven't heard that many. Maybe I have. I just can't think of it.
Are there any like bucket list bands bands you wanted to tour with, but you haven't had the opportunity yet?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of music, so I love, there's probably a good bit of like, it would be cool, but I think I'm pretty happy with who we've toured with. Or we've always too toured with bands that you never thought we would link up with. And then it turns out to be, this is amazing. So I think with Maylene, we've gotten the opportunity to tour with a bunch of different styles of bands, and it somehow works. I guess we're kind of always the odd man out a little bit on things, but yeah, now I guess most of the bands I think would be like, oh, they aren't even alive now, or yeah. It would be like a dream bucket list of probably, not even touring anymore or whatever.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, even on this tour package that you guys just announced, I mean, it's a pretty eclectic lineup. So I think there's going to be, there's going to be a lot of people that I think you guys are going to draw some people maybe that, have never heard Islander before, and like, vice versa, I think, because obviously you guys are pretty different.
Yeah, that's like, we've toured with a bunch of bands, but we're always the one that's like, they're a little, we're the black sheep of the family on a lot of tours. But it's also really cool because we've gotten the chance to tour with a bunch of different styles of artists, from heavy to rock.
Right now, the big thing is all these bands going back and doing a tour of like one said album. What's your views on that? And would you want to do that with Maylene, like maybe the second album or something? That'd be cool.
There has been, I've never seen a lot of bands that do that, but I respect that, and I think it's awesome. And I think it's awesome to do that for the fans. And yeah, we've definitely been toying with some ideas of maybe doing that in the future. But yeah, I think that's really cool when bands do that, and it gives the people that like those records that experience of getting to hear it through.
Yeah, and if I could just put my request in right now, please do Maylene 1. That would be killer, man.
Yeah, we've talked about how other bands do it. So, yeah, never know what the future holds.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So any, I'm kind of going full circle here, but any particular challenges that you're anticipating, like coming up on this tour? Obviously, this is going to be a pretty big undertaking for you at this point.
Challenges would be, I think that the main word is it's going to be, I think, more challenges than it is. I mean, it's going to be joy, but gosh, I just realized so I don't produce tears and saliva a lot, or things like that. And I've just realized recently, and I've known that, but so a hotel room or anything like that, the dry air, they call it hotel sickness or whatever, but it can dry your nasal passages, which will crack, and that's how you can get sick. Yeah. And I've just realized recently, I think that's why I've been able to figure it out, where I get sick all the time if I go to a different environment or something. So, yeah, I've been learning a lot of things to hopefully, I think I gotta travel with a humidifier. I think Sudafed's going to be one of my good friends for allergies, or I've started something that works with them. But and I guess the help. But next week I'm getting a epidural block in my back, and hopefully that works. If not, I'll do another ablation, or even we've talked about a neurotransmitter. It's like a piece of, I guess, machinery, like a pacemaker that when you start hurting, it sends a dead signal to your brain, I guess, instead of pain. But yeah, so
same.
Yeah, I've only seen them when I've gone to the back doctor. I've started a new medicine that's supposed to help your brain work like one. So I think it's working some, but yeah, we and our guitar player Jason, he just had his whole knee replaced in August. So I had that. The problem, I got sick, and he had the whole knee replacement.
Jeez.
So yeah, we're more excited, and yeah, he pumps me up because he's like gung, like we're gonna do this. He's working out and probably running a triathlon or something. So I'm glad to have the group of guys because any challenges we all kind of, I guess, look out or we bring out the better side in each other. I think. I hope, and I mean when you get, maybe we'll see after the first week, and when they get worn down, they're like, "This is bringing out the worst side of me, dude." Change your attitude.
Are you guys toughing it out in the van, or?
That's funny you asked. I don't think the van, we're still discussing our transportation right now, but it's crazy. Like, just with stuff has gone up so much. It's wild. So, I don't, as much as I like the DIY, and like, it's weird. Like, I used to like that kind of touring more because with a bus, you have to wait for the driver, or you don't get to stop where you want to. And like with a van, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I guess I never got over my hardcore punk rock, metal club days. But, now I'm like, I don't think physically I can do that. If we do that, I think about 1 or 2 shows, and then it's going to be like, oh, Dallas is in the urgent care ER because his body's not working right. So
right,
we're trying to figure out something. But
well, definitely looking forward to seeing you out here. I know you guys are coming back to Tampa at the Orpheum again, so we'll definitely be there to catch that. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Awesome, yeah. I look forward. Are you guys all from like Tampa area?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, we live in Lakeland, so half-hour drive. Yep.
I don't forget, but there used to be a club. Different club, but I used to love playing Lakeland. It's got its own feel. But yeah, that used to, when I was 98 or 99, playing these places in Lakeland. But yeah, that'll be awesome. Meet you guys, hang out, and if you think it'll be a fun show. That's gonna be the last one of the tour. So I think by then, if I have
25th,
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's right. So if I have it, which I'm not gonna burn out, but I think that will be. Probably that show will be like, I got it now. I'm in a groove, and it's like, oh, it's the last show tour. But I'm looking forward to that. I love hometown. People always say the hometowns, or and Maylene, for a good while was Birmingham. I lived up there, but my home it's Florida. So
hell yeah.
I live in Ocala, but like Tampa is like where I would, even young, I'd get my mom and dad to, because there ain't nothing around here. Drive me down to the
Definitely
state
not.
theater or whatever.
Hell yeah.
And I have awesome parents. Well, my mom gone recently, not recently, a couple years ago, but yeah, they're awesome. So I really love Tampa so much, in St. Pete, and it's one of the best places. Florida has one of the best, to me. California's awesome, Florida, and there's others. Other states do have. Texas is cool. I guess every state, but Florida is its own unique place. Which,
hell yeah.
Shows or memes or things about Florida, and I couldn't love it any more than I get to live in this amazing
Florida man,
state.
they'll get you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to always play back home in the hometown area.
Yeah, man, and we'll definitely come say hi. We're we're a bunch of dorks that didn't introduce ourselves. But I'm Jason.
And I'm Justin.
And I'm Bobby motherfucking McDermott.
Dude, your voice. I wish I had your voice, man.
That's super deep.
They wouldn't be
the
calling me
baritone.
Mrs.
It
on the
happens.
phone. I know that for sure. They wouldn't be saying yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's good to meet you guys, and look forward to seeing y'all when we play, and have to hang out for sure.
Hells yeah.
It's going to be a
All right,
good
man.
time.
Well, hey Dallas, man, we really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, even though you can barely see us with your one blurry eye, man. But
That's for the best.
Yeah, you have to knock me and like remind me, because I'm like, I think, yeah,
we'll tell you to squint.
yeah. But I guess I'm getting used to it over the past few days, but you bringing that up, I guess we forget about it. But yeah, y'all are a blur. Kind of like I have tendonitis, or whatever you call it, in my ear, always ringing. And I don't think about it until someone brings it up. And then it's like, oh my
That's all you can
gosh.
focus on.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about the blurriness, even though it's like completely blurry. So yeah, you guys will have to come up to me and like be like, "Hey, dude, I'm not,
Yeah.
you did the interview,
Oh,
you can't
I'll
see."
come find you. Don't worry.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. But we really appreciate it, and
thank you.
wishing you guys good vibes on tour, man. I hope everything goes great, and can't wait to see it.
awesome. Thank you so much. And thanks for having me on. I appreciate it a lot, and look forward to the future. And thank you again so much for having me be a part.